Out come the Raiders. Simon Wolford leads them out. 5 of this squad playing their first ever finals match. Despised outsiders, really. Just 1 win away from home throughout the season, and that was way back in round 3 against the Tigers. It would be fair to say there's probably less than 100 people at this ground that believe the Raiders can win this afternoon. There is just the smallest smattering of Raiders flags in the outer. Jason Croker, one of the more experienced Raiders in this side. Big things expected. They have 1 win under their belts over the Warriors this year, of course. And now it is the Warriors. Stacey Jones takes them out. Have a listen to this reception. Some have described this as one of the most important days in the modern history of rugby league in this country. They need to cash in on the momentum that has been building. Stacey Jones, one of many big names, one of many players who has enjoyed outstanding seasons, and such a strike player with a number 7 on his back. Ivan Cleary, last game today in front of the home fans. We also welcome our Melbourne viewers this afternoon for this clash. Three terrific games leading up to this one. Weather here in Auckland, 15 degrees. And a breeze at the backs of the Warriors players for the first half. Just a chance of showers. There has been no rain over the last few hours. Tim Mander, our referee. And we are underway. Game 4 of the final series, week 1.
First one.
And it is O'Hara who brings it back for the Raiders.
On 1.
And met just outside the 10-metre line. The Raiders, who got off to a flyer when these two sides last met in round 20. They eventually won 38-30, but that doesn't tell the story of the game. They led 16-0
all the way back.
after the first 27 minutes, yet trailed at half-time. They worked to the right for the first time. And there was almost an opportunity there for McClendon. He was brought down.
Okay, last one.
Back to the 40. Jones there in defence with champion. You will get used to seeing Jones defending wide. Now Finch, as they rushed up on the Canberra halfback, and Finch able to make ground. The pass went forward, and that was on the last tackle. It will be a changeover.
And that is the danger of sending one player through quickly to harass the kicker. PJ Marsh onto Brett Finch.
Yep.
He's an elusive ball runner. Most got through is Suyu takes the football 45 metres out from his own line, centre field. Not a bad start from the Raiders. No real mistakes in their first set. Big men took the ball up well.
Jones able to offload there, and now for Marsh, and then on for Swan, in for Lauatiti.
On 2, all the way back.
From the team that was announced on Tuesday night. Inside ball for Tukey, and they do love him here. He is one of their own now. Marsh, a Campion. 200th first grade match today for Kevin Campion. And like Ivan Cleary, playing his last match in front of the Warriors home fans, Marsh takes off for 10 metres. And all of a sudden, New Zealand inside the Raiders 20 for the first time in the match. And it has come early. And Jones with a banana kick. It finds Carlaw, and Carlaw is over for the Warriors. Mander checks with a touch judge. It is a try. And just about everyone has gone up here at Ericsson. 4-0 to the Warriors.
The perfect start for the home side, and the fans love it. John Carlaw, quite an incredible career this man has had. Something like 6 clubs, and he's playing his best football with the Warriors. PJ Marsh made the initial bust. Such a dangerous ball runner if the markers are slow or lazy. And then it was Stacey Jones who called the football to the right-hand side on the last tackle. A deliberate banana kick. He deliberately puts this on the outside of the boot. And John Carlaw racing into the gap. Ankle tap. Momentum taking across. Only just controlled the football. Tim Mander didn't worry about going to the video referee. He was fine with that. Lovely kick there. You could see that the players were actually starting to come in towards Jones' kick. Then realised they'd been fooled.
Shot from 10 metres in from touch. He's been a wonderful number 1 for this club. He's goal kicking at 84%, and he is successful with his first kick today. Nines finals football. The Warriors leading the Raiders by 6 points to 0.
Who's number 6 for Canberra? Number 6 for Canberra. It's going to go high. No starts, boys.
Ready then for the restart from Clinton Schifofsky and the short kick-off. I'm not sure whether the Warriors were expecting that, but they certainly weren't. The Raiders came up with it. And it was Payton, I think, who was able to force the ball out the back, or rather Michael Monaghan.
That's a flop.
It's all worked out well for Canberra. Now the flop in the tackle. The Raiders get the penalty. It could have been one of 3 or 4 things there, Peter.
Yeah, good stuff there from the Raiders. They did take the Warriors by surprise. Looked like the man who got the football eventually was going over the sideline. He threw it back to Croker. The resulting penalty. O'Hara takes it close to the 30.
Pitches coming courtesy of Sky New Zealand this afternoon as Michael Hodgson runs into a big shoulder over the top. Finals defence, every tackle seems to have just a little more venom in it. As McClendon is playing a little closer to the action than we expected. Wiki on an inside ball. For Monaghan. Infield for Finch. And then back for Payton, who was almost tackled before the football had come his way. And Warriors come up with a ball.
Now, poor pass, that one, really put a lot of pressure on the intended receiver. As you pointed out, Andrew, McClendon, when Canberra have the football moved into the centres, that pushes Joel Monaghan out on the wing. Defensively, they go back to their original positions.
Now, PJ Marsh for Jones, and attacking the short side with their leading try scorer, Clinton Torpy. Almost back to halfway now. Francis Melly infield with CU, and they rush in up on him. Wiki was a man on a mission there, leaving a mark on his New Zealand Test teammate. And Tukey gets another touch. And the Warriors 38 metres away from the Canberra line and leading by 6 points to 0. And Jones is steering them so well. They've sent Fafili on the chase this time, and Schifofsky has to dive low and cover up that football. Canberra in possession, but don't the Warriors look sharp to open this game?
And again, it's Stacey Jones who is pulling the strings. Jason Croker makes a good run towards the 20. Lovely kick again, a lot of work for Schifofsky to get across and cover that just in front of a flying Fafili. Brett Finch throws the dummy. He's gang tackled by 3 Warrior forwards.
There's plenty there.
On 4. Wait for it here, boys.
Head-to-head, these two clubs. Over the years, clashes between the Raiders and the Warriors. Actually, Canberra can take a lot of confidence from that bottom line. Their last couple of wins over the Warriors in the last 2 seasons here at this ground. So psychologically, there's some things in their favour.
Yeah, they've got a very good record here at Ericsson, don't they? 6 times for 4 wins, but this is their first trip this season. And it is an intimidating place to come as the Raiders are found inside the 10. The Warriors back onto the attack. Jones should find touch around the 30-metre line.
There's a mark, Tracy.
Crowd so pumped up early in this one. Probably haven't seen a crowd like this. Well, the game against the Broncos was a big crowd, but you probably go back all the way to their first year in '95 to match this one today. Tukey held up 15 metres out from the line. Carlaw was the first try scorer. Marsh allowed to run a long way there. Then with Jones, almost a little shepherd.
Here we go, all the way back.
Cleary was up in the line.
Hold here, Clinton.
And they're still 10 metres out. And they work left. It is Guttenbill putting a bit of footwork on Wiki, who does well in defence.
Help was there, Shane.
Pressure early for the Canberra Raiders. Torpy for Jones. He thought about kicking, and the defence swamps him. It was Big Payton, like a big brown bear on Jones. 9 out from the line. CU. Docks down as always. And then it comes back for Tony. And Tony is 15 from the line and doing a dance.
Okay,
Here comes the North, right in front of the post. This is good defence from Canberra. Have to hang on for one more. Jones tries the kick again. Action replay this time. Carlaw. Well, has he controlled it sufficiently to come up with another 4 points?
Well, Tim Mann had a very good view of this, and he couldn't come up with an immediate decision. The only problem is if putting the football down. John Carlo has lost control of it.
Mate, the video always makes it look a little bit closer than
Goes
it is.
down in the no, he lost the football. No try. Some attention there in the form of Jason Croker, and I'm sure that he has lost the football just before he was able to plant it on the ground.
Well, Carlaw has played more of this game early airborne than he has on the ground.
Yeah,
And he's come within a matter of centimetres of scoring his second try
Just wait though,
in the first 8 minutes of the match.
Simon.
It should be a 20-metre restart if they rule the error was made in goal. As we stand by for the decision, it is no try, of course, and it is the 20-metre restart. So Canberra hang on that occasion, but 2 kicks from Stacey Jones. They found Canberra not responding with the right answer, certainly from a Raiders point of view.
Here's the mark. All the way, stay, Jerry.
And the Raiders in possession. Inside their 30, and Michael Hodgson, a
Hey,
former
roll
Eel
off.
who has
Roll off.
battled a horrific run of injuries over the last 4 seasons, but got everything going again this year. A player of great talent. And Canberra with Lalisi almost back to halfway. Some promising signs as well in attack for the Raiders as Monahan makes good ground.
Dominant
Michael
four.
Monahan, who could be
Hold,
the
Mark.
first choice halfback next year.
Clinton.
39 out from the line. Wolford able to pass, and that was
Okay,
Terry
last
Martin.
one.
One of those newcomers
Make
to
it square.
finals football in the
Hold.
Canberra side. 30 metres out with Finch. His kick is to the corner. Melly and Cleary will go back. Cleary is in goal, wishing it over that dead ball line. There were 4 or 5 Canberra Raiders chasing through.
Wait, PJ.
And this time it is the Warriors with a 20-metre restart.
Hold.
Look at that crowd here today.
No.
Sandwiched in
Wait.
to Ericsson Stadium.
Just a little bit of a problem there for Brett Finch. He's out on the right wing for the Raiders.
Part one. Here's the
Limping a
mark.
little bit.
Ruben, wait here.
The
Ryan, wait
Warriors
here.
take the football away from their own danger end down the short side with Logan Swan. What a
Two.
remarkable turnaround for
Over the
Logan
line,
Swan's
Michael.
career this year as well. He was really on the outer a couple of weeks ago. Now he's on the run in the run-on side for a final.
Loose ball, and Finch
Dominant
was
three.
sweating on Torpy
Here's the
there.
mark. That was dominant.
There were a few Warriors players just standing around looking, hoping the other would dive on it. As Guttenbeil makes good metres.
Four.
There's another
Here we
player
go.
who's
Jason.
come back from
In the middle,
very
Tom.
serious injuries over quite a length of time to have a wonderful season. Cleary's kick is big. Tifovski back to the in goal, and he's all on his own, and now 7 Warriors in a line to make the tackle. It is Carlaw first in. Hand for McClendon and quick hands for Lalisi. 2 wingers combine at the back, and then a loose ball for Payton. Giving the coach, Matt Elliott, some slight palpitations of the heart on shore.
On 3. Here's the
Sort of
mark,
loose
Jerry.
ball inside your
Wait.
20.
Hold.
And now Wolford back in for Wiki, and some bruising defence. He got away from Tukey. He keeps it alive for Monahan, and this time it's Carlaw on the
Here's the mark.
push.
Hold.
And almost back to the 20. Canberra doing it tough here. O'Hara with
Last
the hit
one,
up this
roll away,
time,
roll
but
away.
5 tackles.
Kevin back.
And from when
Screws
Schifowski
market
picked
too
up the ball, they've made only 20 or so metres. Kick downfield on the full for Cleary. Back and over the 40-metre
Part 1.
line.
Here's the mark. Terry, come back with me.
Signed a
Hold.
contract with Huddersfield in the, well, they're hoping to be in the British Super League, looking for promotion. Melly searching run across field.
2. Over the line. Don't come in, Ruben.
And running
Hold.
halfway. Feely is the player replacing Justin Murphy.
On 3. Push it back.
Now is
Push
Swan,
back.
taken by Monahan. And Warriors building up to something here with Campion and Tukey. And Campion on the wraparound. He's always like the battered Warrior, Kevin Campion. The head bandage.
On 4. Over the line. Jason.
I hate to think how many stitches have been put in his head over the last 10 years of his career. Modu Tony. Carlaw. Good work to get away from Monahan. Now Feely. Changes
Okay,
his
last one,
angle
JT,
twice
what's
on the
the
run
line?
to get within 5 of the line. 5th tackle. Warriors. Leading 6-0. Jones does the grubber. It came off the legs of O'Hara. It was played at. No doubt about it.
Hold that.
And a full set of 6 again for the Warriors. Tukey for Marsh. A dummy.
On 2.
Held up
Just
by
play,
Wiki.
PJ, stand up.
Defence from Ruben Wiki so far has been quite outstanding. Jones's pass was line ball
On
for
three, stand up.
CUCU. In front of the Canberra posts is where a penalty is conceded by the Raiders. And oh, well, they've gone the tap straight away. I thought in finals maybe take the 2. Cleary keeps it alive. Now it comes out. Don't worry about two. Fafili like a worm for the line to get over in the corner. Video referee will check it.
He's made the line. He's going to make sure he hasn't hit the corner.
Dane Hayne is the touch judge on that far side. And it's just a matter of whether he's got the ball in goal before he collected the corner post.
Yes, that's the only concern from Tim Mander is the corner post. Great to see a side back themselves, and the Warriors generally do that. They took the quick tap. He's a long way in field there, Farfield. He goes across the line. That's a try. It's their second of the afternoon. And Stacey Jones, he read that there was a danger on the right-hand side there. Great ball from Logan Swan to the try scorer. So real danger signs early in this game for the Raiders.
He collects the line there. And what happens after that is of no consequence. This should come up the try for the Warriors, their second. Henry Farfield, the man on screen who didn't miss a match for the Warriors last year. In fact, the only player to play in every game. That was last season. Try is awarded. And it is all good news here for the home team. Their first home final and a 10-0 scoreline with a Cleary conversion attempt to come.
And Andrew pointed out the crowd came here with great expectations this afternoon, and they are being met. Beautiful work here from the number 17, Logan Swan. Jones onto Cleary. Cleary onto the big second rower. He attracts a couple of defenders. You can see both the winger and the 5'8" had come in, and Henry Farfield finding a lot of space down that right-hand side. Attracts a couple, and the saloon passage.
Good.
Henry Farfield. And he is a very popular Warrior. It's just a remarkable turnaround for this club. We said at the top 18 months ago, a little over that, they were close to being dead and buried. Yet here they are as minor premiers and playing, if they win today, to get next weekend off, all of a sudden just one game away from making the grand final. It is beyond the wildest dreams of many on the Shaky Isles. So Cleary with a kick, this one right on the touchline. 21 metres out, in flight, crowd behind him, love it. Cleary 2 from 2 out wide, and it is a 12-0 scoreline. This is going to be some sort of party if this keeps up. No celebrations just yet from the coach, Daniel Anderson. But 2 tries in the first 15 minutes.
JT, you go back.
This is an example of the pressure that the Canberra Raiders have been put under. So much has revolved around the halfback, Stacey Jones. Again, it will be Clinton Schifofsky to get us underway, although all off the mound of, there will be a player more meticulous with his setup for kickoff restarts. He's got them wondering whether it's going to be a short kickoff again. Off we go. Clinton Schifofsky goes long this time at 12-0. Raiders needing points on the board. No real opportunities inside the Warriors 20.
He's gone forward.
Not for any length of time have they been down there. Tukey is hit hard again by Wiki. Second man in, he is doing some damage.
In fact, both the Raiders' second rowers have been very physical in the opening 15 minutes. Michael Hodgson doing some strong work as well. The enormity of the task for the Raiders, as that's touched by McClendon, will be a Raiders feed for mine. The enormity shown by the fact that the Raiders conceded over 600 points defensively. In fact, he's got doing it the Canberra feed, which is 200 more than the Warriors, and they've scored 200 points less. The 400 differential between them, it's a big margin.
I want to hold every time.
Fremantle ruling that Linden was making the tackle, not playing at the ball, but as many of you watching at home would contest that you're attacking the man who's carrying the football, you are making a play at the ball.
Over here.
That's not by the letter of the rules, so Mander got it right. And that's the reason why Canberra have the scrum feed. 40 metres out.
And we've got Clint Shivolsky picking the ball up at lock. And Ruben Wiki out at 5'8". Lovely tackle low from John Carlo on the big man.
And with Monaghan and Finch. They get something going for Croker on an inside ball.
At 2, on the line.
He's the most experienced player in terms of finals football in this Canberra side. And now Terry Martin, the lock forward. 23 metres away from the Warriors line. They trail by 12. Wolford for Finch. And a switch back, and Monahan was headed for trouble the moment the ball hit him. Croker only two on that blind side, and it is Joel Monahan who takes the tackle from the Warriors. They're fired up. Campion over the top. 12 away. Finch. He tries his kick. It looked too strong off the boot. Only just in the finish, though. He got a little bit of backspin on the second bounce once it landed on the green. But all the same, it's a 20-metre restart for the Warriors.
And a shake of the head there from Brett Finch. He realises all the pressure is off just because of those couple of inches. Dookie picks up 5 or 6 metres. Interchange now with Richard Villasanti coming on.
At 2, roll away, roll!
One it is, he'll play at 15 short of halfway. And right side, Campion.
On 3, on the
It
line.
has been an energetic start from so many of the Warriors players. You've got to remember, not in the best of form coming into the finals, winning only one of their last 3 games. And the side that did win last week is very different to the side they're fielding today. One on an inside ball there from Jones. And that is 35 metres away from the Canberra line. With Jones again, that kick is probing again. Fafili is coming through at top speed. Shivhovsky could hear the footsteps, but played a patient game to let it go touch in goal. And for what must be the 6th or 7th time in the match, a 20-metre restart, this time the way of Canberra with Martin coming back.
And you've got to wonder whether that is the game plan for the Warriors, to kick to that particular corner or that wing. Stacey Jones has kicked the football probably 6 or 7 times this afternoon, and 99% of those have been down in that corner.
3, stand up, hands out.
Sean Rutchison into the action now for the Raiders. So too Troy Thompson.
On 4,
20 of the possession, and the opposition's 20 going the way of the Warriors. Raiders only two tackles so far through the first 19 minutes of football. Last tackle here. Finch. He kicks, and he's got Cleary rushing back. The chasers are there. Fafili is with the ball. Monahan first in with Croker. So they've got them back near their own goal line. Carl with a bruising hit back there. Troy Thompson came reeling out of the tackle, and he's hurt. A little bit of concussion, I think, Troy Thompson. He's battling. That was his first tackle since coming off the bench. This is Guttenbeil.
On 4, back up, boys, Jason.
And twisted in the tackle there of Rutchison. The Raiders getting their interchange working now. Villasanti is interchanged for the Warriors. 2 tries last week against the Tigers. PJ Marsh the kicking option this time from outside the 30. Looking to get that ball, a 40-20. Shivhovsky all of a sudden had to really watch that bounce closely. And that is a big kick. The breeze is at their backs, and that kick was some 70 metres in the finish. Out of dummy half.
Yeah, it's quite a strong breeze blowing in favour of the Warriors, and that is possibly the reason why they are kicking down into that corner. The wind seems to be assisting in that direction more than any other. Sloppy play the ball results in a Canberra penalty.
He's in the way.
Villasanti told that he was in the way by the referee.
Terry, just make sure you stand straight up, mate. Don't go forward on me.
And that penalty 25 metres out from the line. We've mentioned the Warriors players that are playing their last matches at home today. Of course, in the Raiders lineup, if they were to lose today, it's farewell to Brett Finch, to Todd Payton. They're both Roosters bound next season. Play the ball from Shivhovsky, and good metres for Wolford, the Canberra captain, and able to offload there to Alan Tongue. This is promising for Canberra. Croker with Finch, and lined up right with Monahan. Wiki was running an inside channel there. He didn't receive the football. He's there at dummy half though now, and this time he finds Rutchison, and held up high there by Torpy. They're 10 out. This is the opportunity they have been waiting for. Wolford passes. Tongue was almost knocked back to the 20 or the 30. Shivhovsky with a kick. It's been trapped. Well, that is a pretty good trick from the Warriors. Not only was it trapped, but they almost drove it into the ground. It was under the boot of Carlaw, and no one could get a crack at it. And now they get a penalty, the Warriors. I can't recall that ever happening before.
About 4 different kicks at it, as well as Corpu about to come in. Both coaches working overtime in the interchange. Carlo, there's no way knowing he was letting the ball go.
It was like a little kitten with its paw on a ball of string. As Villasanti comes back now for the Warriors on the 30-metre line. He's a strong player at his best to be coming off the bench, and they've had great impact from their interchange all through the year, the Warriors. And Daniel Anderson has really brought along the depth of talent in this club. Campion passes an offload for Jones, and now Jones is away. Look at the little number 7. Those little legs are going as fast as they can go. And well tackled by Shivovsky. 12 out, Raiders on the rack. Good hands from Tony and Marsh, and they keep it coming for Cleary. 9 out from the line, not held. Back for Campion. He kicks off the hands of Finch. The Raiders may have knocked on to finish McClendon, but Mander had played advantage and a penalty Warriors.
Yeah, they recovered quite well, the Raiders, but they didn't get back on side, unfortunately.
There's the mark.
And Kevin Campion tried to put the kick through again, the tap taken. Marsh onto Jones. Great burst from Jones, got outside Terry Martin and ran 50.
Well, the Raiders are looking at their season ending right here and now. Another penalty conceded in front of the posts. It's 12-0. Marsh wants the tap. Jones is looking to the bench perhaps to go for the 2 this time.
Yeah, I think you take the 2 this time. I can understand earlier the decision not to, but 12-0, 14-0 is a big difference. So cool heads have prevailed. Stacey Jones realised that the situation was just a little bit different than the early decision. Number 7 outside the number 13. Good tackle here from Clinton Shibovsky. He's a fine defender. Needed to make the tackle. Drove in low, got the head down. And Ivan Cleary. He won't have any problem with this one. He's just put one over from the sideline. Took this one with his eyes closed.
Well, he set the club record last year for points in a season with 173. He's absolutely smashed that record this season. Going into today with 222 points. And next to his name, 95 goals. So he's taken that to 97. And he can now make that 98 for the season. The Warriors, so impressive in front of their home fans. Finals football on 9, it's 14-0. That a hit I was referring to earlier, Kevin Campion. And he looked that battered when he came out. He is a real warrior. He lives up to the nickname of the club. He'll be a Cowboy next year. 2-year contract with North Queensland.
Okay, this is short.
Waiting for Clinton Shivovsky on the restart.
No starts.
And action again back at Ericsson Stadium. And a 14-0 scoreline. And Melly gets the ball on the full and then was met in very physical the defence. They just came up, took him front on and forced him back.
I know he didn't make many metres there, Francis Melly, but I love the fact that the Warriors wingers come looking for the football. Farfili and Melly come centre field. Love having the football in hand. Do a good job with it as Gutenberg tackled 43 out from his own line.
Well done.
Marsh again onto Jones and he kicks to that favoured side. Plenty of metres again off the boot.
Shivovsky all the way back inside that 10. Getting used to picking up the ball in that corner. Canberra still searching for their first line break of this contest.
On 2, roll away.
They need the post points before half-time. I mentioned from that round 20 clash, they led 16-0 and yet trailed at the break 18-16.
Held 3, they're still getting tackled.
But they just need points as much for their confidence here. Will raise any doubts that they are worthy of a battle against the minor premiers. Monahan out of dummy half. And there's absolutely nothing doing there in the Torpu tackle.
No, I know they're on their back foot, Andrew, but I think to beat the Warriors, the Raiders have got to get them to make decisions in defence. And that means they're looking at inside passes, maybe some cutouts, a lot of bodies in motion. It's just not good enough to play the Warriors one out, because that's playing into their hands. They are so strong in their front 6.
Dummy half, you saw in the previous play, the kick from Monahan to centre. Mark Tukey's on the bike on the bench. Not uncommon to have as many as 2 or 3 players limbering up at all times for the New Zealand side. Marsh, they go right with Jones and then away with Motu Tony.
That's 4, Alex.
into the starting side with Lance Hire, one of their rookies of the year, on the bench. Campion on the bounce back for Guttenbiel. All of a sudden it's a bit aimless, the attack in these last couple of tackles for the Warriors as they reach tackle 5. 2 tries they have scored. Jones, it is a Langer style kick which has been covered up by Canberra, but not the best set of 6 in the match for the New Zealand Warriors. Far from it. Aaron Mapp was the player warming up on the sideline, ready to come on for Canberra. He will replace Ruben Wiki. This was the kick of Jones.
On 3, roll off.
Well, you can put kicks. In fact, he had 5 goes at it. Still didn't come up with a ball. Terry Martin.
On 4, Clinton Toby.
Dumped in the tackle there. The Villasanti. Raiders on their 40. And Finch.
Okay, last one.
Made their way into the 8 last weekend with their win over the Melbourne Storm. Now they find themselves in Ericsson as Finch's kick is good. Cleary gets to it. Finch is there to make the tackle with McClendon. And they've got him back to the 20. Now they will sweat on a drop ball from the Warriors, but they are prepared to stretch the ball early here with Melly. And there is the drop ball they needed, but it goes back for Torpy. And Torpy takes off. This Warriors centre to halfway. And the cover comes. It was Finch riding the back of the Clinton Torpy as now Campion passes. Villasanti had to dive to catch it. And again they lose a bit of momentum, the Warriors. Marsh with Cleary on a jinking run.
Here's the mark.
And again they tread the ground inside the Raiders 40 with Jones, a cutout ball for Campion. Intercept opportunity for Finch. Realistically though, it was more just a spoiling play. He was going to be hard pressed to regather.
And unfortunately for the Raiders, it means that the pressure will continue. Brett Finch telling his outside men that he wanted them up quickly alongside him.
Let's get these second rows binding, Terry. Second rows. Well, let's get the whole pack nice and tight.
A lot of danger time coming up for the Raiders now. They trail by 14, not far out from the final 10 minutes of this first half. Amazing how many times we see points scored in this period. It's Carlaw. He's having a good time.
Here's the line,
He's their first try scorer and the second disallowed. Now with Swan. 20 metres away from the Canberra line. Pressure builds yet again. And a short pass there, Villasanti. Oh, they've done well to stop him. Clinton Schifofsky will be penalised.
Now they take the tap.
Away you go. Yes, he was. No, he's getting up the player. No!
Marsh has gone off early with a quick tap restart as the caution was still being issued.
Give him the ball.
Here is the official restart. Marsh at 14-0. Cleary. Right they go with Swan. He flicks it out the back. It's Lalisi's turn to run. And almost back to the 20. Monahan. Back to the 30. So Canberra hang in there.
They are adventurous with the football, the Warriors, but that's not the kind of pass to be thrown. First tackle.
I want you to go roll to the side, not over the top.
Wasn't even looking to where his support player was.
Let's just watch this play the ball.
Ball straight into the arms of Jamal Lalisi.
And it must have been, I would think, close to using the sin bin on the penalty right in front of the Canberra posts. After Schifofsky had made the try-saving tackle on Villasanti. And Campion on the bench for the Warriors. Lovely inside pass there for Thompson. Thompson over offload. There was a Warriors hand in there. That will be play on with Schifofsky. The tackle count has restarted.
Yeah, the referee said it came off the knee of the man who lost the football as Brett Finch, dummies. That's what the Raiders need, inside passes, a little bit of deception.
Wolford for Tongue, he's 10 metres out. And now straightens, and Marsh has got him. If they score here, they chip away at the confidence of the Warriors. Finch for Wolford, first receiver. Inside pass for Darren Mapp, the former bull rider. Tackled there by CU. 5 out from the line. Wolford, left, Monahan. Offload, he had Martin screaming for it on his outside. And this time Rutchison for Schifofsky. He's got the kick off the upright. And yet Guttenbeil was there to come up with a football. It'll be a line drop out. But the big padding here at Ericsson Stadium has saved the ball from going in goal. And Guttenbeil just the man on the spot to come up with it.
The second best result for the Raiders there. The kick was going to cause some problems if it had got into the in-goal area. Straightening up Shivovsky. Good chases there, Tongue leading away. Guttenbeil, he just stayed back, and then a very strong tackle to put him back into the in-goal area. It was excellent work from the Raiders chasers.
Under 9 minutes remaining in this first half. And the Raiders, first repeat set that I can recall. And that is some bruising defence from CUCU.
You stand up. 21,
Thompson
mate.
got up.
Sorry, number's 21.
With a bit to say. That was his last hit up before heading back to the bench. He will remember it. Payton about to come back for the Canberra Raiders. Wolford, inside ball with McClendon. McClendon going across field, needed a straight runner. He found a flat-footed one, and Monaghan devoured by the Warriors' defence. McClendon back for Monaghan. 11 metres out. Across field they come, Rogerson, Monaghan. Here's the chance for the Raiders. It is Joel Monaghan who scores the try out wide. That is beautiful work from Canberra. And their first try in this fourth final. It is 14 points to 4.
Very well constructed there from the Canberra Raiders. Starting to move this Warriors defence around, and they created an overlap. They went left, came back to the right-hand side. This is great work here. Going in, turning. Stacey Jones had come up and in defence, and it gave the number 4 out wide, Joel Monaghan, a very simple task of catching and scoring.
Touch and flight then, JT.
This will give them confidence, the Raiders. They realise that there are chances against this Warriors defence. As I said earlier, get them to make decisions.
And the young man who scores it, just 20 years of age, he's one of those local hero type stories that last pass for Joel Monaghan. But he started playing rugby league. I think the club's the Tuggeranong Buffaloes as a 4-year-old with dreams of nothing else but playing first grade one day for Canberra. And here he is on the stage, the final stage, and coming up with a 4-pointer.
All I'm saying is give me a name.
They're a talented pair of brothers, aren't they? Michael and Joel. Between them, they played 7 first-grade matches each last year, and a lot more football this season. They're now regulars in this Canberra first-grade squad.
And that's a crucial play landed by the Canberra side. If the opposition had scored coming into half-time, the game was gone.
Didn't let us down, mate.
It is now very much a contest, especially if Finn Shivovsky can guide this one between the uprights. Very difficult kick. So quite a breeze that he's kicking into. He does pick up and swirl every now and then. He'll take it across, I think, right to left from the post. So you think he'd be aiming it a little bit this side.
I think a fair distance this side to swing it in. He takes more time with his kicks than any other goal kicker in the game. He knows he's in enemy territory. The crowd he's kicking towards him. They're making quite a noise. Look at the flags up. Shivovsky swings it back. It'll swing right across the face. He couldn't ride that breeze, but they're on the board, the Raiders. 14 points to 4. 6 minutes remaining in this first half. And this the try again. The Raiders first. Rogerson did very well, but that was the money ball high from Darren Mapp for Joel Monaghan.
Number 6 for Canberra is Joel.
And how would a double strike sit right now with the home supporters if Canberra can come up with another try? Cleary starts us again. Canberra in possession. And Sean Rogerson it is who carries back
A dominant one.
to this Canberra side.
Make it square, don't go.
Yeah, a little bit slowly to his feet too is Rogerson. Got to say that the impact off the bench for the Raiders this afternoon has been very good. Alan Tongue always adds a lot of enthusiasm. While both Rogerson and Troy Thompson have run the ball very strongly.
On 3, dominant. Oh, make it square. Wait,
Hickey coming up with a dominant tackle that time on McClendon. And again, some bruising defence. It was Swan and Marsh and CUCU all there on Terry Martin. Finch's kick has got Melly running back quickly. And now he gets a favourable bounce and has it on the 20-metre line. Francis Melly, he's big, tall and strong on the left wing for the Warriors.
There's the mark, Todd. Yeah, I'm just telling you not to go.
Tuki a dummy half. As it comes across for Cleary and Fafili, one of their try scorers today. Both tries coming down that right side.
Terry, wait.
And they applied pressure on the Canberra line. Carlaw is the other try scorer. And picked up in that tackle, Payton and Tongue. Manda was satisfied that it was in no way illegal. This time it is Guttenbeil. And 3 in the tackle that time, right on halfway. But just a little bit of venom out of the play at the moment for the Warriors. Jones's kick. Kifovski's got plenty of chasing, but he's kicking downhill into that corner. It just got faster and faster as it went towards that dead ball line.
And the Canberra side starting to work their way into this game now. And if they can just keep this 10-point deficit or even lessen that before the break, give themselves a good chance in the second half. As we pointed out, quite a strong breeze that normally enables you to play good field position. And they are well within touch as Richardson again. Tough meters in the middle of the ruck.
The Canberra kicking game, they have got a number of kickers. Walford's an option at a dummy half, and the likes of Finch and Schifovski.
On 3, wide back here, mate.
They have possession on their 40. It is Clinton Schifovski who gets over the line. A very risky ball, but they've got a penalty for a strip there, have they?
Mark Tukey.
Have indeed. Mark Tukey is the man. Just over 3 minutes to go in the first half, and again we should stress that if the Canberra Raiders could get up and win this one, we would see the exit of the Sharks, the completion of our opening weekend, along with Parramatta.
And on that same note, it would mean that the Roosters get next weekend off, along with the Brisbane Broncos.
Hold! That one.
15 metres out from the line.
Sorry, mate.
And Canberra with 1 try next to their name, perhaps threatening to post a second. Wolford wants to keep it alive for Monahan. The defence stood still and Monahan is over. The 2 brothers have come up with the first 2 tries for Canberra, and the defence right there just clocked off. Michael Monahan gets the 4-pointer.
In a comfort zone, the Warriors sitting back and watching this, and he was very involved, Michael Monahan, in the try for his brother. He was the man who put the runaround play on. On this occasion, again, just changing the point of the attack. 3 different changes there until finally it finds the number 6. A couple of Warrior players very slow to react coming on the arse from the far side. John Carlaw, he needed to come across seconds earlier.
No,
because a big gap had opened up.
There
you can see he was down on the ground, but he had to get up quickly because play comes
more
back towards him.
Yeah, we could have got more.
And all of a sudden, the 5'8", he couldn't believe it. Sydney Hedge in front of him.
You could have used that.
Now Monahan gets over. Now, while all this has been happening, there's been a bit of drama with Clinton Schifovski and the referee Tim Manda over a sand mound, would you believe?
If you get more seam, you can use that one as well.
Michael Monahan's happy.
Just conscious of slowing the play down.
But Manda is concerned that we're taking too long, and we ran out of sand, and Clinton Schifovski wasn't about to use an old mound, if I can take you through the story, but I'm glad that Tim Manda's got a smile on his face at the finish of it, but Clinton Schifovski was getting a bit hot under the collar.
Of course he was.
Well, Tim, we've got lights here. If the game goes for another minute or 2, it'll be okay. Generally, the side that's in front is slowing the game down, not the one chasing.
But I know it is his method, Clinton Schifovski, but it is very frustrating watching because he takes an eternity to have a shot at goal.
All right, Messi, settle down. Preparation is the science of winning.
19 metres out. 11 metres out, in from the sideline. You've still got time to get yourself comfortable in the lounge chair at home. Now he will move in and get them to 10 points. He's done it this time. And it was 14-0. And look at that scoreline now, 14-10 in this 4th final. This weekend of the Telstra Premiership Playoffs, we have been treated to some wonderful football, starting with Friday night, Roosters and Sharks. The doubleheader yesterday was as good as it gets. Broncos, Parramatta, Newcastle Dragons, and now a 4-point ball game at Ericsson.
And out of the top 8 sides that have qualified for the finals, the Warriors have the worst record defensively inside their own 10-metre danger area. They have conceded far more tries than any other 10 metres out from their own line.
Mark a square. Hold, no penalties now.
Mark McClendon with it. And to centre field, this crowd has gone silent. They've taken them out of the match. That's a big factor from Canberra. You'd reckon there was only 5,000 or 6,000 here now. 14-0, they were doing the dance. And tongue for Monaghan. Final seconds of this first half. But he has been one of the star performers in this first 40 minutes, Michael Monaghan. Canberra with Finch and working right with Mapp, who puts the step on, but Guttenbeil is there in defence. And that is the last tackle for the Canberra Raiders. Finch positions himself on the blind side. Will be happy for this one to go over the sideline. I tell you what, I reckon the New Zealand Warriors coach, Daniel Anderson, will be happy to get his players in the rooms. I don't think to give them the round to the kitchen, but just to get their minds back on the job. Not to get too far ahead of themselves. There is still work to be done here. Plenty of sides have gone out in straight weeks in final series. Half-time siren sounds. And quite unbelievable that Canberra, trailing 14-0 and really on the ropes in that first half, have fought back to get within 4. And they will have the breeze at their back in the second half. So we will break on Nine's Widewater Sports. You're enjoying the first weekend of the finals. 14-10, Warriors over the Raiders. Crowd getting settled for the start of this second half. Victorian viewers, I hope you're enjoying this battle. It has been just sensational, the football over the first weekend of the playoffs. Amanda had some close calls to make in that first half.
No starts.
We are ready then for the start of the second half for the Canberra Raiders. A season that started, well, they started off-season training before any other club as Mark Tukey comes back. They started way back on October 15. 45 weeks of training comes down to one half of football to see if their season will still be alive. They worked it out, that's over 1,000 hours of training in there. It's a lot of sweat. And they start their second half trailing by 4 points. And Marsh for Guttenbeil. At a 14-0 scoreline at one stage, so the wind in their sails as they went to halftime.
Last one, roll.
So now with Jones, and they come to the right with Tony, and his left foot kick on the bounce to Schifowski, but the edge really did start to go off the sets of 6 for the Warriors, well out from halftime.
One, hold, Jerry.
The advantage they had was eaten away.
On 2.
Daniel Anderson would be a concerned man if there's no improvement over the first 10 minutes of this second half. Monaghan, one of their try scorers, away for Rutchison. Outside the 30. A point we will continue to make. If Canberra was to win here, it would be the Sharks who will make their exit alongside Parramatta after the first weekend of the playoffs. As Wolford probes, and Payton a little flick out the back, and the kick from Finch was covered up by PJ Marsh. Very early in the half to be putting in that sort of kick, but it was half a chance there for the number 7 for Canberra.
It's not a bad idea because it does put thoughts into the opponent's head that they can't rush up quickly, but that is an option against them. As Carlaw almost slips through, hitting the ground just over the halfway line.
Surprise, we received word out of the dressing rooms at halftime from Daniel Anderson. One big message to the players is play 40 minutes, not 25. That's when he thought his team clocked off in that first session of play.
And they only played a 15-man game in that first 40 minutes as CU a strong charge. We're yet to see Ali Lauatiti or Lance Hire come into the action. Interesting to see when Anderson injects him as Jones shows the ball, throws it to Motu Tony. He kicks for Guttenbeil.
The bounce though comes the way of Canberra. There'll be a line drop out. McClendon got across there, but there were plenty of those dark jumpers. The Warriors coming through, and this is what they wanted to start with. It is quite surprising if you're going to play Ali Lauatiti on the bench today, and if you think he's fit enough to make his comeback from a knee injury, that you wouldn't give him at least 40 minutes game time. Linden, the last line of defence there for Canberra.
No starts, boys.
They take time with the dropout. So much of their good work in the latter part of that first half can be erased if they concede a rush of points here. Stacey Jones with a trap, and CU. He brings it back, and oh, he's left one victim there. Alan Tongue was just bumped out of the way. Logan Swan, Tongue's there in defence and gets one of his own back. He's a game little customer. Hails from Tamworth. PJ Marsh across field and links up with Jones, fires a long pass back on the bounce for Torpy. And Torpy contained there by Joel Monahan. 20 metres away from the Canberra line. Stacey Jones in for Tukey. This time brought down, 12 out from the line. Marsh is alive at a dummy half. Good ball for Jones. Back for CU. And here goes the front rower. Held up in a three-man tackle. Last it is for the Warriors. Leading by 4 points. And with Stacey Jones, good trap there from Payton. Decides to dive on the ball. That is excellent play from the front rower and relieves the pressure for Canberra. Kifowski then takes the second tackle. And now McClendon, and this time it's Croker, who it must be said was a little quiet in attack in the first half, but this time over the 30. That was the work of Todd Payton, back close to the line.
4, there's the mark, right here.
Wolford, good player, the captain.
Last one!
Now, 41 metres away, that is the 5th tackle for Canberra. And it is Wolford who kicks for that corner that the Warriors kicked almost exclusively to in the first half. Melly is back there. Oh, he's passed back to Torpy. Torpy, he couldn't believe that a pass was coming his way and that far behind him. And now he flicks one out the back.
It's a nice ball to receive in a final place to your line, isn't it? As Cleary is pummeled by Alan Tongue. He's been fired up from being pushed up by Jerry Siu as Carlaw again makes the ball standing still.
You don't want to be too critical. They have played a flamboyant style and a very good style of football all year, but are there some cracks showing that perhaps they're not applying themselves to the situation of finals football as they should be? And now a forward pass from Siu to Jones, and the Raiders will get a scrum feed outside the 40.
Yeah, you got that right, Tim Mander. Had a good view of that. Trying to slide through. The ball goes forward. Stacey Jones, no doubt. They've been very good front runners this year, the Auckland Warriors, New Zealand Warriors, I'm sorry, when they've led at half-time, and they've done it plenty of times. From 15 games, they've gone on to win 13 times. Well, speaking of 13, their opponents have trailed at half-time 13 times, only won twice. They need to turn around that statistic this afternoon to be successful.
Croker, infield they come, and this is Terry Martin.
Stand up.
And now they're only 35 away from the Warriors' line. And Brett Finch, he doesn't want today to be his last game in the Canberra jumper. Simon Wolford at dummy half, and infield for Todd Payton. They keep it alive with Kifowski. And PJ Marsh there in defence with CU. They're only 20 away though. And Michael Monahan is well tackled there by Carlaw. 5th tackle for the Raiders. Croker's kick isn't flash. Cleary comes up with the ball and they can't get him back to the end goal. Well, it wasn't panic from Jason Croker, but it was a kick that only he could regather. No one else was prepared or knew that that was going to be his tactic. And this time it's the pressure off the Warriors. Jones, they will spread it for Torpy. Torpy back in for Jones this time, and Wolford there in cover. Stakes are high once again. As Korpu is brought down 5 short of halfway. 5th tackle, Jones will kick. Driving it across field. Lalisi will come up with it. One of 2 New Zealand-born players in this Canberra squad.
And as the bench looks on, you can see how important it is to get quick play the balls in this particular match. When that is happening for either side, they are making plenty of metres. As Rutchison throws a forward pass to Monahan. That's pretty much deliberate too. That, I think in my mind, should have been a penalty.
Yeah, well, that was absolutely deliberate. He turned around. Sure, he was getting spun a little giddy, perhaps. But you watch the number 17, Sean Rutchison. He just pops it in the chest of Monahan. Innocent victim, innocent bystander.
Just a little bit up the side, buddy.
Didn't touch me, sir.
Terry, I want you binding, Terry. Well done, mate. Stay there.
And now Lauatiti gets ready. He's like a giant on that camera angle, getting ready to come on.
Stand up.
The big number 11. Crowd will go up when he steps out. Guttenbill gets a good ball away. Warriors 30 from the Canberra line with Korpu. A much underrated back rower, not by the coach Daniel Anderson. Yeah, Lauatiti's out there. Big cheer. Cleary for Carlaw. He's now 12 metres from the line, and Canberra Holding firm their defensive line. Jones with the ball. Again, he finds Korpu. And this time the defence very effective from Tongue and Wiki. On the Raiders' 10-metre line. Jones thought about kicking left. Jones goes through. Passes to Lauatiti. First touch on the football. Oh, what is it? Cometh the hour, cometh the man. Come in, Spiller, score a try with your first touch.
Oh, Daniel Anderson, you are a genius. Ali Lauatiti comes into the game after 50 minutes, and his first touch sees him get a crucial try. Stacey Jones through the dummy, inside, outside. The right hand offload, and the big second rower skirts the dead ball line to take it around. Thanks for coming. Great work again from the halfback. And we wondered when this giant was going to come into the contest. We haven't been disappointed.
Unofficial time, Peter. 14.3 seconds he was out there on the field. And he scores the 4-pointer. The knee injury that could well have ended his season. Ali Lauatiti back in round 24 against the Roosters. He was meant to be out for a month.
Yeah, look, I don't know whether you want to score with your first touch because you're starting to think maybe it's all downhill from here.
Cleary from right in front. He landed one right from the touchline in the first half to convert the Fafili try. He's successful there. And again, the margin is 10 points. We will break from Ericsson Stadium.
Okay, we'll stay with it, boys.
Again, the last work of Stacey Jones, and Lauatiti runs along the tightrope virtually on that dead ball line. Finals football on 9. And Canberra in a bit of trouble, 10 points down. They were down by 14 at one stage in the first half. Here comes Tukey. And back to the 20-metre line. Good tackle again from Tongue. And this time Swan with it. So Canberra need to be the team to score next. Pitches courtesy of Sky New Zealand today. And they're loving it. If their team can get through to what would be week 3 of the playoffs if they win here, they can just sit back and watch the others wrestle next weekend. PJ Marsh. Just about Parramatta's, well, I think he was Parramatta's best player in the grand final last year. His form this year has been top shelf. Jones has got them again. And this time for Tony. And now they back up with Marsh. He kicks very early. Going back is McClendon. That post pad is in the way again. The Warriors have scored.
It's Lauatiti.
It's Lex 11. Ali Lauatiti has scored again. We're off to the video referee. This is incredible. 2 touches of the football, 2 tries.
Well, Tim Mander wants to go back to the play the ball where the Canberra player was actually taken out. Now, I don't think it has too much effect on the play, but Ali Lauatiti, 2 touches this afternoon, and it looks as though it will be 2 tries next to his name. But this will be very interesting to go back and have a look. The incident occurred probably 10 metres away from the play of the ball. Alan Tongue gets held back by PJ Marsh. Now, did deny Alan Tongue the opportunity to come across and cover on the inside. So this is going to be very interesting, Andrew, to see whether the video referee believes that Tongue was denied an opportunity to get involved in the defence, which you've got to say he was.
Well, it's illegal what PJ Marsh did. I mean, the video referee has a rule book in front of him. He just about has to rule it. I know we're talking in the scheme of the try, but we are going back to an offence by the man playing the ball on the marker, Alan Tongue. Now, Alan got a bit theatrical there at the finish of it.
Hey, boys.
But PJ Marsh has got no business doing that to the marker. Now, what followed is outstanding, of course, from the Warriors.
Are we?
And that's right. And if you have a look where Stacey Jones comes back, the pass to, or Motto Tony's pass back there is just about the area where PJ Marsh would have been, where Alan Tongue would have been expected to be covering. Matt Elliott would have said, markers, they trail the play, they follow across, and they make sure they plug up the centre. And that's where that try came from.
Well, this is the decision for referee Ian Parnaby, and it is a big one. The context of this game, 10-point margin, no try. I reckon he's got it right. The boos and the jeers go up, but he has to rule by the set of rules governing this game, and PJ Marsh will be regretting one moment of madness there.
You could see almost a sheepish look there from PJ Marsh. He realised that he'd mucked up, he'd hurt his teammates by getting personal.
Here I am, Ali.
By getting personal, he hurt the team.
And Canberra, they live to fight another day in this match.
Part one, stand up. On the line.
And what a turnaround it will be if they score in just minutes. Wiki. And he's able to offload somehow in a two-man tackle. Tukey and Marsh unable to prevent the offload. Done. Here's Monahan. It's a defence cry going up from the Warriors defenders.
On three, on the line.
And defend is exactly what they have to do here. Burlow said the stat inside the 20. Their defence isn't that flash, or their record isn't that flash. Cleary this time. Well, the posts on the uprights have had a big bearing on today's contest. They are the biggest in the game.
Mate, you're lucky to score between the posts. It's just a small gap to get through.
On three.
And that was very fortunate there for the Warriors that it bounced their way. As Farfili comes looking for the football again. Manhandle 38 out.
No penalties, boys.
Tony. Lauatiti denied a try with his second touch. Statistician Dave Middleton scrambling for record books to find similar feats. Jones kicks downfield. It is big. His breeze may have died down. Schifowski has to play at it. And an army of Warriors defenders there, and Schifowski back to the field of play. Linden away with Lalisi. And Lalisi tackled 11 metres out from his own line. Monahan. And that is Joel, who's tackled just over the 20. Still plenty of time left for Canberra to come back.
Yes, they must remain patient, but for mine, they need to get Ruben Wiki fired up out there. He might be one of the oldest players in the side, in fact, along with Jason Craig, he is at 29, but he has played 32 tests for New Zealand. He is a dynamic ball runner, and I would think that he was given a long break in the first half so that he could go the final 25 in this second half.
Back up.
He's the kind of player that just could blow this game open for them.
Francis Melly with it. Here's another one of those balls from Francis. Modu Tony. I don't think I've seen him pass the ball in a conventional style once in the match. It is his way. Guttenbeil for Jones on the 40. Now is Swan.
On three, let it go.
Called up on that inside run with Tony. Guttenbeil looks good. Quality player. Owen Guttenbeil taken from behind by Wolford. And they're inside the Canberra 20 again. Jones and Corpu. Corpu with a fend, held up by Thompson and Finch. Fifth tackle for the Warriors. They're 9 metres out. Jones's kick gets it to the in goal. Bounces beats McClendon, and you wouldn't want to know who was right there again. The 11, Lauatiti.
It was going to be a penalty. Had they not got the goal line drop out?
Yeah, he's like a magnet, isn't he, Ali Lauatiti? Okay? And he does help Owen Guttenbeil's game as well, as we see almost a fatal mistake there from the Raiders. When Lauatiti is not in the side, Guttenbeil plays the opposite side to where he is most effective. He's now back on the right-hand side, Lauatiti to the left. And that's where they've enjoyed most of their success throughout the season.
Schifowski on the line dropout. And it is 40 on the fly, and no real urgency from Cleary to get across to the ball. He was happy for it to bounce Melly's way. But while all that happened, it allowed the Raiders' defence to get up. Now Lauatiti doing one of those offloads around the corner. Still with the ball, the Warriors. Torpy passes there for Corpu.
And
he goes to ground 30 out. Not a good play, the ball from Corpu. Could have been pulled up. Jones for Guttenbeil. And Guttenbeil offloads for Jones. This is their show, the Warriors. And here is Stacey Jones. Oh, he goes over. The captain, Stacey Jones, in the biggest club game of his career, has stood up and lives up to the reputation of one of the best players in the NRL.
And when the announcer was reading the teams out before the game, the biggest cheer was saved for that man there, Stacey Jones. He is a superstar in New Zealand. I still don't think in Australia we realise how good he is or give him the recognition he deserves. And we give all the laudings to the likes of Andrew Johns and Brett Cawley and Alan Langer, and this year Brent Sherwin, and rightly so. But this man in the number 7, the black jersey, the number 7, well, he stands tall in any company. And he's been their best once again this afternoon. He's orchestrated everything. Look at him summing up the play. Throws the little dummy, very strong, gets rid of Brett Finch, goes across. He can do it all on a rugby league field.
One of the foundation warriors. He was there when it all started in 1995. Didn't make his debut until round 7. That was against Parramatta. But since then, he's been a hard man to shift.
Yeah, I just saw him go down.
A little problem there below the elbow. And that's enough to make every New Zealand Warriors fan a little concerned, but they get closer to victory, and of course they get closer to having that weekend off.
Yeah, Stacey Jones did have a broken arm a couple of years ago. I'm not quite sure whether it was that one, but yes, one of the damage areas of concern. He is the leading try scorer for the Warriors club. That is now try number 60 for him as Cleary adds a further 2. No, he misses.
Finals football on 9. Cleary unsuccessful. It is a 14-point ball game at 24-10. Most unlike Ivan Cleary, that he is the sharpshooter in the game. Best percentage. As we see the try again from Stacey Jones. Again, it highlights you don't have to be 6 foot tall and over the 100-kilo mark. The star in this game.
Nice starts, boys.
Here goes Clinton Schifofsky again at Ericsson Stadium. It is a short kick-off. Plenty of Raiders coming through, but Carlaw, one of the best in the air for the Warriors,
Here we go, Troy.
comes down with a football. Well, we said earlier Canberra would want to be next to score. Well, now it's just an absolute must. At 24-10, still a little over a quarter of the match remaining.
On 3.
But any more than 14, and that is the point of no return. But Jones is on a great run at the moment. Stacey Jones offloading that time for Lance Hohaya, who's out there. Guttenbeil with a football. Running at Alan Tongue, and they're making plenty of ground. 30 metres away from the Raiders line. Tony and Jones. Jones for Cleary. He kicks for the corner. Schifofsky's had plenty of work to do. So too McClendon, and McClendon will be driven touching goal. Yet another line drop out for Canberra.
Kicking game has been very astute for the Warriors this afternoon. Put a lot along the ground. Generally very well placed. Another nice one there from Ivan Cleary. Generally the kick is only as good as the chasers. So that was a 10 out of 10.
And the longer the game goes, the more relieved the Sharks are becoming. And the more the Roosters are starting to focus on playing football next weekend. Tukey back from the dropout. And well handled by the Raiders defence. Alan Tongue has been tireless coming off the bench in defence. He's been bowled out of the way a few times, but not too often. Tony, Jones, and there is Cleary. A cutout ball, misses Lauatiti, finds Torpy. Torpy, who's looking to set the club try-scoring record, which is 19. His tally is 17 this year. Lauatiti. Rare to see him not offload. He was held low there by Monahan. Tony's pass out in front of Jones. He kicks. Croker's there. There'll be another line drop out. This is intense pressure for Canberra. They can see their season ending if they concede any more points. And they're under assault. Back-to-back line dropouts here.
But this is the kind of second half performance that will bring a smile to the face of Daniel Anderson. He would have been disappointed at half-time.
Dominant one.
And he'd have told them that we have to graft for a victory out here. Do it with our defence. Be patient and maintain the pressure.
Roll up, roll up.
Tony infield with Jones. Then for Hohaya. Tongue went for the big shoulder charge on the 5'8". He missed. And it is back with Tony. Going across field and holds it out. Still going across field. Now slices through. Keeps it alive for Torpy. Torpy around the corner. celebrate. The fans are all up. The flag salesmen have done a great job today. They got buckets of money. It's 28-10.
Well, we dubbed the Canterbury side the entertainers back in the early 80s. Tell you what, if they keep scoring tries like this, New Zealand Warriors of 2002 can be just about all the same. Beautiful pass there, and none better than that. To get that pass to go backwards is a feat in itself. Modu Tony, very similar to the last run we saw of Stacey Jones when he scored, just drifting across field, looking for the gap, through the dummy. Well taken there by the centre, Torpy. And that pass to get it to his winger in an onside position is superb.
Melly, I don't think took long to go up to Clinton and just say thanks for that, mate. That's your four-pointer. It's next to my name, but you set it up. And that is just a wonderful pass, and Francis Melly gets the try. And it is 28-10. Cleary will take, well, he's one of the quicker goal kickers. It's quite a contrast. We've got Schifowski and Cleary. Cleary is normally fairly quick, but this is such a big kick. He knows that this puts Canberra out of reach. 18 points right now, 20 points, and having to score 4 times in the last 17 and a half minutes. Well, it has been done before, but it's an awfully big order for a side here at Ericsson Stadium in finals football. So Cleary with this kick, off the boot. Ivan Cleary is successful. Cleary gets it. Finals football on 9, and the Warriors look safe.
What's the shorty? Don't go early, Alan. Must be right on the line. Those are the short ones.
Back on the bench. Raiders now need a miracle. Ali Lautiti has gone back to the bench. You have to say he has been wrapped in cotton wool at 30 points to 20. And that kick before the break, Ivan Cleary, that is 100 goals for the season. Good way to bring it up. Second sideline conversion of this match. And that's another ace they've got going into the finals. Don't mean to be disrespectful to Brett Camorley, but it is unlikely that Cleary will have a none from 5 night during the finals. Torpy plays it. Brett will bounce back though. Bit of hard work at training this week. Jones for Hohaya. And of course Camorley will get his chance next week.
Back up. Good.
Campion. And Jones tries the short kick. He was bowled over. It is play on with the Warriors. Mandon may still rule a penalty. Warriors 29 away. No, he says changeover. And the touch judges stand their ground either side. And Jones is okay.
That's 2.
The bigger stats as we watch this charge again. It was pretty close to simultaneous as he got the ball away.
Come on, roll away.
One of the biggest stats has been in the offload department. Warriors, 16 offloads in this contest. They have some wonderfully skilled players in attack. Here is Thompson. And then losing the ball and batting it back, and the desperation of Campion to get to the loose ball. The Warriors come up with it, and this crowd that went rather silent coming up to half-time is just feasting on every second now.
I think the crowd can smell it. There are more points coming from their team. Warriors really playing confident football now, looking likely to bust the opposition defence on any given ruck.
Campion for Jones. They'd love Kevin Campion to get a try in his last match here.
4. Stand up.
Borpu will play it. 19 metres out from the line. Modu Tony left with Cleary. Cleary's kick this time. He's ended up with it. And at his last tackle, he wasn't about to restart the tackle count. Kicked into the legs of the Canberra players. Jones gets a chance to kick across field. That's not Stacey's best. Fafili flies high to bat it back for Carlaw. Good kick from Carlaw. Henry's coming through. And Schifowski goes touch in goal. And guess what, Canberra fans? We've got another line dropout.
Well, it's probably Stacey Jones' worst kick of the afternoon. and it wasn't a bad one. Winger did very well far field. He batted it back to John Carlaw, who again, he appraised the situation, realised that the best kick and the most dangerous one was for himself and his winger. And again, the second best result. Some camera work there, close into the action.
Tukey, a familiar run back from the line dropout. Carlaw got the first try of the afternoon in spectacular fashion, almost got a second. And now Jones. They go left with Corpu. Finch got him in defence, but they're inside that Raiders 20 again. They've sent up 10 in there now. Here is Cleary. He was looking to get a little right-hander. Offload away. Tony. Well, Tony's come to this match without his compass today. By gee, they're having trouble catching him, but I don't think Modu knows where he's headed. Here is Cleary. They're all spinning.
Last one.
It is 4 metres away from the line. And last tackle, Tony takes off. Tukey on the inside ball. And the big fella has got there. Mark Tukey has scored for the Warriors. They love it. This is the game they could only dream about 2 years ago. A first match in the finals as minor premiers, and they're on the march to week 3 of the playoffs.
And one of the more likeable players in the NRL competition, Mark Tukey, loves his football, just gets the ball down, touching the line. Very good signing from the Parramatta club. But you've got to say that he's turned himself into a real footballer these days. Daniel Anderson said that the barrel, which was his tummy, now is up in his chest. He's a guy who can go out there and play many more minutes than he was able to, and he's very, very dangerous on the football field. An improved player, he's worked hard on it, so has the coaching staff, and now he's got to try in a final.
He drives around the streets of Auckland in a Mini.
Let's not get relaxed, boys.
Very popular character, Mark Tukey, as he has been at every club he has played for. Started back at the Crushers, and I remember him as a teenager getting some game time in first grade. In those days, he was all out playing 15 or 20 minutes in a match, but every hit up was greeted with a Tukey chant, and it has stayed with him wherever he has gone. Another 2 to Cleary. This scoreline blows way out for the Warriors. Finals football on 9. This crowd, they will stay right to the finish. There will be a lap of honour presented with a JJ Giltman shield as minor premiers before the match. Tell you what, the video referee was going to have a hard time if he had the rule on it, but there it was. The point of the football just touches the line, and that's enough. Canberra Raiders restart, a short kickoff, not for the first time in the match, but again it's just a fraction too deep. Campion didn't even have to leave the ground to take it. Well, he hasn't mastered that, Clinton Schifofsky, today.
Stand up.
Kevin Campion. 36-10 scoreline. It was 14-10 at half-time. This tackle count climbing. But it watch the whole performance and say, well, the Raiders haven't probably played that bad. But this is a good football side, although there Campion has come up with a drop ball at the finish.
Oh, I reckon you did.
Rare mistake there from Kevin Campion. A disagreement between the player and the referee. Kevin says, I didn't drop it. The ref said, well, I think you did. Only going to be one winner. This is the kind of form that we saw the Warriors in 6 to 8 weeks ago. I think they would admit that the last month not their best football.
Hang on. Where you go?
But for most of the contest this afternoon, they have been at their dangerous attacking best.
The only top 8 sides they've been beaten by this year were the Dragons and the Canberra Raiders. Here at Ericsson, or rather matches that they've played against sides they were going to come up against. Of course, the Roosters gave them a nice touch-up not so long ago. And now the Raiders with the ball 38 metres out from their own line. Payton.
On 3. Why? Bring
And with Schifofsky. He runs and then is held by Corpu, and now it is time to throw the risky passes. Now, I'm not sure whether CUCU on the previous play was ever onside, but he got a hand to it, and Canberra have come up with the ball.
Stand up.
Love and war, and Canberra still in possession, 35 metres out. Finch for Monahan. And Carlaw was there in defence.
Push away.
So many players that have improved their football over the past 12 and 18 months at this Warriors side. Finch tackled 19 metres out. Chance for Canberra to post a third try of the match. Ruben Wiki working hard, trying to go right through the heart of the defence. The ball may have been helped out, it was. It is a Canberra penalty. He was looking to pass, and it was out on the fingertips. The question, Canberra will go with the tap. And Brett Finch is the man to take it. Terry Martin takes the hit up at the Warriors line. Low in the tackle was Campion. Good test here for the Warriors goal line defence to fine tune as it goes wide with O'Hara. And the former Bulldog now forward, then sideways. Okay. Infield with Monahan. That was Michael. McClendon, he looked back, he wanted a runner, then Wiki, the run around. McClendon still going across field. He's covered some 40 metres there. And all across parallel to the 10-metre line. This time it is Shifovsky, and he's able to get an offload away. He's struggling though to find a man cleanly now. Lalisi for Monahan. Michael with it, 10 metres from the line. And the defence is just waiting, and then he may have lost it at the finish, reached out again. Starts again the tackle count with Croker. Inside for Thompson. Thompson keeps it alive for Finch. The flick out the back for Tongue. And Tongue is held there by Cleary and Marsh, and CSU just adds his weight to the pile-up. Lalisi with Shifovsky, and across with Finch. On for McClendon. But not a whole lot of purpose to this attack from Canberra, 10 metres away from the line. And this time it is Wiki. He runs straight at them, a one-out run.
Stand up.
And easily contained by the Warriors' defence. No more points is what Daniel Anderson would want. Payton with the ball. Good pass out the back. And then O'Hara was collected around the neck virtually. Quick play the ball though, 5 metres out. Tongue back to Shifovsky. His kick to the in goal. It will go over the dead ball line. It may have just brushed the leg there of Torpy. Amanda doesn't think so. He's happy with a 20-metre restart.
He was in great position to rule on that, the referee. As we have a look, no, he's out of the field of play. I tend to think Daniel Anderson will be pleased with that last 5 minutes as much as any other part of the game. I know that the opposition weren't offering that much in attack, but a lot of that was because the Warriors were drifting well, they were sliding, they were talking, communicating. They kept their defence intact in an area where they haven't been particularly good through the year.
And Marsh with Campion. And Campion almost back to halfway. And Daniel Anderson's thoughts will shortly be how to keep these players right up for the battle in 2 weeks' time, whoever their opponents may be. Risky ball there, but you've got to keep in mind a lot of players were rested from last weekend. So to play today and get another 2-week break, it's not a lot of football to be going into a match to determine a spot in the grand final. Croker is pushed back. It's a bit like the old days of the top 5, where the minor premier would get the first weekend off, and if they won week 2, they got another week off into the grand final. Here is Finch, and he is driven back, and still he stands his ground. Miraculous effort. Now Lalisi. Finch was hit with everything. He stands all of, I don't know, 165 or 170 centimetres. Yet he was still able to stand tall at the end of the tackle. I think he's hurting after it. Payton's now got it for Canberra, and he's only 15 metres from the line. Fifth tackle. Here's the call again from Tim Mander. McClendon for Finch. His kick to the outside. It's to the wing of Melly. Melly flies, but Canberra come down with the ball. And on the scoreboard, at least it is the Monahan show. Joel gets his second. Michael, his brother, has one next to his name. Joel has 2. But the season is over for Canberra, but it's still nice to get a 4-pointer in finals football.
And that's a particularly good effort, because I think that the wingers for the Warriors are just about as good as anyone in the competition under the high ball. Deliberate kick there from Brett Finch. The chaser always having the momentum on his side, and he just about took the ball out of the arms of Francis Melly. Nice little deft kick across, well placed, just short of the try line. And in Australian rules fashion, Joel Monahan gets his second.
He's a former junior Kangaroo too. We gave you the Tuggeranong Buffalo story in the first half. And I reckon he is a real talent. He and his brother you're going to be watching a lot of first-grade football from that pair over the next 5 or so years and longer, one would think. Hopefully they can be retained as Canberra juniors at the Raiders.
Thanks, mate.
Be just a little over the 100 kilo mark too, the centre. No change in style for Clinton Schifofsky, even at 36-14. Placement of the ball on the mound that he spends a lot of time on. And off the boot, unsuccessful from Clinton. Finals football on 9, 36-14. The end of a big weekend. Just 3.5 minutes remaining. Clinton in no hurry to get back. This was the kick again of Brett Finch, playing his final minutes for Canberra. We'll have the Roosters jumper on next year.
No starts, boys.
Matt Brew, Ian Hindmarsh, Matt Brewer, plenty of new faces Canberra can look to next year. Very kick-off restart. There's been a little head start for some of his teammates there. It's on the referee you get, whether it's a penalty.
And Andrew, earlier you were talking about the break coming up for the Warriors after this victory. I've got to say from experience, I loved having a week off this end of the season. In fact, I didn't mind having a couple of weeks off. I think when you've played a stack of football, I don't remember picking up an injury when we weren't playing. And it didn't take long to get the timing back. So I think it's a big advantage to the teams that do get the break at this end.
Canberra back on halfway. And now 40 metres from the Warriors line, but they can look ahead. They break through to the 8 this year. They can build on that next season. Croker, and they get the experience of this game. Look, it was the Warriors in the same position last year, 8th, beaten by 50 points by Parramatta as Martin just strides through. Terry Martin links up inside with McClendon, and Daniel Anderson will not be happy, but put that down to good play from the Canberra Raiders. McClendon gets another try. It's 36-18.
He's all over the place, Mark McClendon, isn't he? Half-back, 5'8" winger, just finding it difficult to settle into a regular position, but he gets the try with under 2 minutes to go. Lovely ball from Clinton Schifofsky on the advantage line. Terry Martin, the bust runner, pretty much created the gap for himself. This is the pass here coming up from Schifofsky, the little shuffle. Beautiful ball. Great left-hand fend there on the fullback, Ivan Cleary. Realised he couldn't go all the way himself, and the quickest man in the side takes it in under the black dot.
We saw a shot of Helen Clark, the Prime Minister of the Warriors. Goes through. She is the #1 ticket holder for the New Zealand Warriors. Interesting matchup if the Dragons were to get to the grand final. It'd have the PMs of Australia and New Zealand going head-to-head. John Howard is a Dragon supporter.
2 tackles.
Successful conversion attempt from the Canberra Raiders and a 36-20 scoreline. That looks respectable. But the contest has been long over. The Prime Minister of New Zealand, Helen Clark, against Prime Minister of Australia, John Howard. Interesting matchup. Could happen. Kevin Campion. In his 200th game, he will depart a winner. Matt Elliott has come to the sideline. 36 points to 20. And final stanza of this match. And the Canberra Raiders will make their exit alongside Parramatta. The Raiders with Ruben Wiki, who should be headed across the Tasman in a few weeks' time for the Test match. He's had a great season. Would definitely be a contender for the Raiders Player of the Year. This crowd is going to go off on the countdown as Monahan gets another run and links up with Croker. He kicks downfield. A lot of chasers there. First man there is Thompson. Takes it on the boot. A scrappy end of the game. And now, if the champagne wasn't popped a little earlier, it certainly is now. The Warriors win their first home final, and they are just 1 win away from qualifying for the NRL Grand Final. Believe it or not. 36 points to 20. They, alongside Brisbane, will have next weekend off. The JJ Giltman Shield paraded proudly here at Ericsson tonight as minor premiers. The to the beaten side today, the Canberra Raiders. Their season is over, as was the case with Parramatta last night. Big effort, Warriors triumphant, and more to come.